Welcome to the Circle of M. I am your host, Marcus Smith II. Man, we've been doing some great things. Last week, I was able to talk to some college guys, partner up with A&M Sports and Fitness. Before you do anything, while you're shacking up with us, make sure you go subscribe to our channel so you can get the updates, so you can get everything that we're doing. As you can see, I'm cool, calm, relaxed because I got a good friend with me today, great guest, somebody that has helped me grow in tremendous ways, who is my manager. He's a person that continues to push me to be the very best each and every day, man. I got my good friend, Antone Barnes. What's going on, my brother?
It's a pleasure to be here, Marcus.
Man, this has been something that has been brewing for the minute. I definitely wanted to get you on because at the end of the day, people don't really get the opportunity to be able to talk to people who actually help people in their careers, and especially help guys actually get to a place where they're pushing forward for what they want after they're actually done playing. But obviously on the show, we always have a tap in part. So my first question to you really is, man, how you doing? And, you know, what's the mood like? How you feeling today, man?
I can't complain. I'm blessed. You know, there's a lot of good things going on in my life, and I cherish those. You know, I don't pay attention to negativity or negative people.
Yeah.
You know, I stay focused on goals.
Yeah.
I'm goal oriented, you know me.
Yeah.
So that helps me with not just myself, but you guys.
So even when you're being goal oriented,
Yes.
and you have to be on phone calls and you're doing emails and stuff like that, does it ever get like stressful in those moments? And what do you do when those stress times come? I think I know what you're about to say, but I'm gonna let you tell the people.
Yes, of course. I mean, with any job, there comes stress levels, and there comes with when you have to deal with multiple entities and individuals, and you know their schedule doesn't fit yours or their priority doesn't fit yours. There's always stress. So you know me, I go outside, I walk. You know, I like to be out in nature. I like to get fresh air. I like to exercise.
Yeah.
So that kind of helps. That's my woosah.
Right.
Like I actually get a lot more done when I'm in that atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know, if many times you go, hey Anton, what you doing? I'm walking.
Yeah.
I'm walking and working.
My man is walking, working, talking, but people, especially in the older community, not saying you old.
Hey, I'm 50. Saying, I'm proud to be 50.
You know what I mean? So but you look good.
I don't look
you know
it,
what I mean?
I guess.
But, you know, that's a great way to really get out, get going, and just, you know, be and be in what we call outside, or what we call like just actually tasting the air. That's what I want to say.
Exactly.
But that was something that I seen. But even when we had first started, you know, even with me, like I wasn't always mature in those moments. You know what I mean? I wasn't mature in that time when we worked together in Philly. But now we're working together again, and it's something that I really don't take lightly. You know, I try to do the work. I try to get things done to kind of like help our relationship even further than where we are right now. But what I want to ask you next is really, you know, where did the whole marketing start for you? You know what I mean?
It was actually very interesting. You know, prior to starting the Brand Architects, I was in the music industry. Worked with some of the biggest names in the industry for years.
Right.
And I saw the similarities. You know, I would be on tour with the likes of Wu-Tang Clan, Jay-Z, you name it, Nelly, Cash Money. I've worked with them all. So I would always meet these artists. And I've actually worked I would meet these athletes. I actually worked the Allen Iverson project. I worked the Kobe Bryant project. I worked the Shaquille. So I saw the similarities. Back then, a lot of the pro athletes wanted to be rappers.
Right.
And so, so they will always be in the clubs and the concerts. Yeah. And I was like the gatekeeper. Right. To the artists. Yeah. So they had to get through me to even meet the artists. So I've established these relationships with a number of guys. And I will always sit down and have conversations. Hey, what's your plan after football? Like, who are you? Right. Like, okay, imagine I don't even know what football is, but so who are you? And a lot of them couldn't answer that. And I saw that with a lot of the artists. Like you would be here one day and the next day we wouldn't even be talking about you. Yeah. And I was like, wow. In regards to morality status, there wasn't any. Yeah. and I saw a lot of similarities. And I was like, you know what? I think there's something needs to change with this. And, agents have a job, but it's strictly football. Let's be clear here.
Right.
Okay? And that's all they need to focus on. I tell all athletes, just how back in the artists, you need to have people that focus on you, not the artist, but the individual.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you utilize the platform to expand your relevancy when you're done.
Right.
It's identity crisis. I call it identity crisis prevention.
Yeah.
See what I mean? And I know you can relate to that.
Yeah, it's the whole identity thing. It's real. It's real, and we don't realize when we're playing that we need to be focusing on also something else that brings us joy.
Thank you.
And after the season, right, we take 2 weeks off, then we go back to training. But in our minds, it's like, I always say this, like the Kobe mentality, like I have to train and this is what I need to be focusing on. But if you really look at it, we only train 2 hours, 3 hours out of the day. So what are we doing the rest of the days?
Exactly.
So I remember when you came with Toby, and you kind of like had, you did a pitch with us and you told us about what you do. Is there any morals that you believe in when it comes to dealing with athletes and, and what you stand on?
Transparency and honesty.
Yeah.
You guys, let's just be honest here. A lot of you guys have been pampered. And, you have. You've been pampered. You've been told everything you want to hear, not what you need to hear.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
And then when reality hits you guys, you're almost in shock. You don't know what to do because you've never been you've never been put in a situation before.
Nope.
See what I mean? Like, and I tell all of our clients, and you know this, I don't care about football. I don't care about whatever sport you play. I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't. I care about you.
Right.
What matters to me is how successful you're going to be when you're 35, 45, 55. But the thing is that it's very time sensitive too.
Yeah.
You have to set these things in place while you're in the league because you have this platform, you have this affiliation.
Right.
We all know, especially in the NFL, it really stands for not for long.
It really does.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the NFL is going to end your career on their terms most of the time. Very few guys are able to leave it on their terms, but it can be done. It can be done. See, you guys have been brainwashed and told one thing for so long that it's like, I got to deprogram you guys. Yeah. You see what I mean?
Yeah. That's what it is. It's literally deprogramming, because in our minds, it's like, nah, I'm gonna get done when I'm ready to get done. And we still training 2.5 years later, ain't got a call. But we just sitting there twiddling our thumb. Yeah. Yeah. And reality is, okay, I could have been over here just doing something for free, right? Because I always say, sometimes you got to do stuff for free in order to get where you're going, because you're not, all of us, most people, okay, you have OBJ, you got the quarterbacks, you got
the glamour position guys.
Right. You got all these big time positions. Now, when they walk away, it won't be as hard for them to get different gigs and get into what they want to do. But the guys who you don't see every day, who have made some good money, but at the same time, they still are trying to present themselves in a way where they can find something that they actually love, and you have to push that to people. It's hard to get that done. And what I realize is that sometimes you have to do stuff out of the kindness of your heart and actually show people your worth. Yeah. Instead of going to people like, hey man, I play in the NFL, I'm a former first rounder. That don't always work, right?
They don't care about that.
They
don't care about that. You have to invest in yourself before anybody else invests in you. Right. Okay? You didn't get paid to play football your entire life, did you?
That's true.
You had to go out there and pay your dues. Right. Life is the same way. Yeah. Okay? Life is the same way, but no one has really embedded that into you guys. It doesn't hit you until it's taken away from you. Yeah. See what I mean? Yep. And that's where the time sensitivity comes in. Yeah. And even a lot of guys too, like you may think they're happy. Like a lot of guys are still dependent on being affiliated with the NFL. Right. And you know how it is. Sometimes I tell you get the NFL, it's a job. Yeah. The fun is gone. Yeah. The fun is gone by this.
It's so hard to keep the fun in it. Because it's so much a business.
Thank you.
And it's like, when we think about, I know we said we weren't going to touch on like the Lamar, all that situation.
But we can.
But when you think about like him playing, all right, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
He's a quarterback. One of the best quarterbacks in the game, right?
Revolutionizing
the game. You know what I'm saying? University of Louisville, you know what I mean? But he has done a lot more than a lot of these other quarterbacks getting paid. Mm-hmm. And he's not being paid, but he's playing a kid's game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you play a kid's game and you have done what you've done, you want to get paid as such. Mm-hmm. So that right there in itself takes the love out of the game, because it's like, dang, like I'm doing the business stuff with you, and I'm by myself, mm-hmm. you know, with my mom. Mm-hmm. I've done all the research that I need to do on the research. Mm-hmm. Deshaun Watson, he got this contract, mm-hmm. but at the same time, you don't want to give me that same when I've done more. So you get what I'm saying?
I have a theory to it, and I could be wrong, but this is my theory. Mm-hmm. Lamar doesn't have an agent.
Yeah, that's right.
So
he has his mom.
There you go. He has his mom, which it's fine. I don't think they want to reward him, because I don't think they want to set a trend.
Yeah.
To have players do their own negotiation. See what I mean?
Yeah. It's
like, okay, they're not intelligent enough, or they're not capable of doing it.
Right. Well, he's a top player, right? So what I do know is that Bobby Wagner, shout out to B-Wags, he did his own contract with the Seahawks.
There you go, yep.
And then what I do know is Sherm did his own contract.
DeAndre Hopkins.
And DeAndre Hopkins. So you have that, but they're not Lamar, right? Mm-hmm. This is the quarterback we talking about.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But back to the love of the game, yes. right? That's a mental barrier right there, because as a black man, you want to get paid what you deserve to get paid, and mm-hmm. you know what your worth is, but that's not what's happening. What do you think, like, the people that you work with, you work in all mm-hmm. aspects, right? Yes. What is like the common denominator when it comes to mental health with these guys or the people that you work with?
The common denominator is really looking at themselves in the mirror and realizing who they are as men. Right. You have to live with yourself every day in regards to who you are as an individual. Football, during the season, okay. Yeah. But like I said, going back to, it's going to be taken away from you. Yeah. So it's you preparing yourself for that transition. Okay, now I've had clients that actually left the game. The game wanted them back, but they were like, no, I'm ready to transition. Yeah. And you know what? The impact it didn't hit them as hard as those that were forced out. Yeah. Okay, listen, mental health is dealing with day-to-day stresses. Yeah. That's dealing with your children, your wife, your work, everything. So, listen, you know how it is, Yeah,
my wife is at clinicals right now. 24 mm-hmm. hours, I'm with the kids, and her grandmother, her mom is with the kids most of the time, so I can do mm-hmm. what I need to do. But that stress it's
stress.
Real, man. Yeah.
But it's like, what do you do to help yourself overcome that? Right. You see what I mean? But then also the factors in your life that make it worse. Yeah. Okay, whenever you could create an atmosphere of positive reinforcement in regards to your individuality. Yeah. That could be cooking, that could be fashion, that could be what you've embarked on. Right. That helps, because I call it like what's the word that I'm looking for? I call it self-awareness adrenaline. It's like you give yourself adrenaline because now you have a purpose. Right. Okay. Right. And it's a day-to-day thing, and it's something that you don't have to depend solely physically on, because your physical attributes wear out. Yeah. Eventually. Okay, so sports. Mm. If you're just an athlete and you just look at yourself as an athlete, you're disposable. Yeah, it's a fact. Yeah. Okay, there's gonna come a time where you cannot perform as an athlete. It's gonna happen.
So, do you feel like it's tough when you get a guy who had no experience of getting himself out there? He just football was everything that he did, and afterwards, was it like tough to kind of like, reboot the mind to get him where he needs to be, even as far as getting him out there to even do the work, right? To help with that part. Like, is it tough for you to kind of like push him in that direction? I know it was kind of right. Let me. Okay, I know this was a question. Let me go back real quick. So
break it down.
In 2016, I met Antone. Right, I was with the Eagles, former first round draft pick, all that, blah blah blah. Right, and my mindset back then was, because I'm a first rounder, I should be able to get whatever he throws on the table, or you should be able to say something to somebody and it should ring a bell, right? But that's not how it works. You still have to be there. You still have to put work in, right? And sometimes I would get there at certain places and I would call Antone and be like, I'm not going in, right? Because of my fear of what I thought, how the Eagles thought about me or the fans thought about me. I'm like, man, they don't want to hear me. But at the time, if I would have been in the time in the frame of like, this is me winning for when I'm done playing. I'm building something for when I'm done playing. I would have been better off. So, back to you, having to deal with something like that. What was it like?
You know what? It was, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. And sometimes I can help you when you're ready.
Right.
Now, I'm going to guide you, okay? But I can't drag you 24/7. Sometimes you got to let people learn on their own. You're not the only one. I've had clients in the past that have had to stumble somewhat. To catch, like, okay, realize what I've been saying then was so important. You guys are still young. You're still 20-something years old. It may take you 3 or 4 years to get it. Some guys get it from the very beginning. Okay? Like
my boy Rodney
McLeod, our current N'Kobe Dean, he's a rookie and he gets it early.
Right.
So it's like some guys get it. Some guys need to stumble a little bit to realize, like, oh wow, excuse my language, I'm not the shit. Okay, I thought things are just gonna be like I said, you've been spoiled and had everything handed to you. And then as you get older, reality starts to set in more.
It really did.
It does. Because you're not protected by people that just value you as a football player. There's a whole world to you that there's more people in the world that does not care about football. You got to realize that.
Or just even,
it's not that serious.
There's so many things out there, like people don't realize, like, okay, when you come from the community that you come from, you made it out playing football and that was the only thing you thought about. But when reality sets in, you realize, like, oh, I can make some money other than football, and I can make a good living for myself not playing football. But you don't realize that until it's over. I feel like sometimes
I don't blame you guys for a lot of that. That's society, especially unfortunately for black men. A lot of time, you guys have been programmed to the only way you could be successful is in entertainment, whether it's sports, rapping, or whatever. That's why I left the music industry. Unfortunately, sometimes you guys haven't been exposed to other career options, people that look like you that can't dunk a basketball, can't catch a football, but they're successful in life and other aspects. So it's critical that right there is another aspect, your surrounding. Like I put you guys in surroundings that has nothing to do with sports. No, I want to get you away from fans. Fans are going to be like, no, I want to get you in a room where you're not the center of attention. See what I mean? And you can actually learn something. And I tell a lot of athletes too, like, while you're in this position, try things that you've always been curious to do, that you've been scared to let the world know. Like you like to cook or whatever it is, painting, whatever it is. Explore those ventures, get around other painters, other fashion designers, chefs. Learn that industry, build those relationships. The same way you guys had to play politics with football, it's the same in the real world, because they got to see how serious you're taking it too. You're talking about other people's lifestyle. Now you're entering their world, and they're like, okay, are you over here just to have fun, or are you taking this serious? And that could be that right there could be life changing. You see what I mean? And could take you on a whole new path of knowing and getting to learn who you are outside of sports.
I mean, again, that's life skills.
There you go.
And that's what this
what
this podcast is about. It's about mental health and it's about life, right? And you're bringing a great point when it comes to that, because us as players, we need to see that. And if you are a player and you're watching this, man, you got to get with my guy, Antone, man, because sometimes when you are playing and you're not thinking about it, you need somebody who's thinking about it.
Thank you.
And pushing it to you like, hey, man, I know, hey, you got a game Sunday. All right, you got a game Sunday, but hey, you got an off day on Tuesday. Get your stuff together.
Yep.
3 o'clock, you need to be signing these autographs or just mingling with people, just talking to people.
Just setting the seeds on what you're going to do away from the field. Right. Even if it's just studying or whatever it is. I need you to change your frame of mind, okay, to just stop worrying about football all the time, especially during the off season. I'm like, guys, you got 6-7 months. Okay, you work out in the morning. Now what are you doing the rest of the day?
Chilling.
Thank you.
Smoking a doobie.
Thank you. Well, I say wasting time.
Yeah.
You are. I'm like, you're wasting time. You're playing games.
Yeah.
You know, me being 50, I realize how quickly life goes by you.
Yeah.
And by the time you're sitting around 30, 35, and you're like, damn, who am I? What do I look forward to when I get up in the morning?
I'm going to tell you something funny. I always thought about myself being a stay-at-home dad. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make my money, I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to be a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
And as soon as the roles had reversed, and my wife was out there, she was doing her thing, she's a nurse, that's her field, she loves that. I'm at home, I'm like, I can't do this. As a man, like, it's like, I can't, you know, so the first 2 years of when I was done playing was the hardest years because I had no identity. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was under the helmet. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know what I wanted to get myself into because the mistakes that I had made prior, I didn't have anything to show for it, right? And so I feel like now I'm playing catch up. You know, I'm about to be 31 this month. Yeah. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. God does his thing. But I'm just saying, like, I could have been 25, 26, and it would have been a little bit different when we 31 now. But, I mean, everything is still coming into fruition. But like you said, stuff has to happen in order for you to grow. So sometimes you have to fall. Sometimes you have to stumble in order for you to grow. And that's the true meaning. I want to go to you going to HBCU. Yes. Right? You went to Morgan.
Yes, sir. Morgan State Golden Bears, baby.
Okay. So I got a chance to do some work with HBCUs. I noticed that there's a lot of mental health stuff going on with that community too as well. Yes. But you coming from an HBCU, like, what are some issues that HBCUs deal with now? But at the same time, I want to hear your perspective when you were playing I mean, not playing, but when you were there to now.
On campus, exactly. Well, one thing I will say they've made, I know for Morgan State, right, my alma mater, they've made some amazing strides, like in regards to development of campus, the expansion of the curriculum. I mean, I go back up on campus, I don't even recognize it in comparison when I was there. Yeah. But the atmosphere has always been welcoming. It's always been a family atmosphere. That's why I loved it. Right. I found myself, I was able to see who I am and grew into the man that I am now going to HBCU. Now, you know, long story short, I had an opportunity to attend a PWI, play football and everything. And it was different. Yeah. The vibe was, I didn't feel like I was a family. I just felt like I was a number. Yeah. Last 4 digits of your social. You know how that was. You know, didn't know me as an individual. I was lost. When I went to HBCU, I was able to really be around like-minded individuals that look like me, that weren't athletes. Yeah. That don't care about sports. Yeah. These brothers are going to be engineers, chemists, you know, all types of, their focus were other industries besides sports. And I tell a lot of the athletes I meet now, like when you go to an HBCU, it's more of the expansion and building of you as a whole. Yeah. See what I mean?
I kind of want my kids to experience that because I didn't get to experience it. And all I've heard nothing but good things about it. Yeah. And I've been to a homecoming with family.
Oh, our homecoming is
retarded. Like
HBCU's homecomings are different. It's different. I mean? It's a family. It's a warm, welcoming family environment.
But see, when you come from an environment like that, when you talk about mental health, and you're around people that look like you, that are successful, that are doing great things, right? And then you go to the other side of it, where seeing a therapist or seeing people that haven't looked like you, but you're trying to speak to them and you feel like you don't have a connection with them. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like, man, maybe if some guys have got the opportunity to actually go to a HBCU or go somewhere where they've seen like-minded individuals, it wouldn't be so hard for them to find somebody that kind of like looks like them to get the help that they need.
It's relatability. It's like, okay, how can they relate? That's like me trying to tell, a woman how it is to walk in high heels. Yeah. I don't wear high heels. I don't know. Yeah. It's a fact, and there's nothing wrong with that. Right. But see, us being the so-called minority, everybody wants to tell us about ourselves that aren't us sometimes. Not everybody, but a lot. Yeah. So that's why you have to surround yourself with, you surround yourself with diversity, but when it comes to relatability, sometimes you have to have someone that you can relate to.
Right, and I think that helps with mental health.
Yes.
That helps with it. Like, you got somebody who can relate to you. That's why I'm a life coach. That's why I speak the way that I do. I say this all the time, because if I'm a football guy and I'm life coaching to another football guy, guess what? You're going to be more inclined to talk to me because I've been through what you've been through.
Thank you.
And so that is the thing. It's like, experience is the best teacher.
There you go.
Forget all them certifications. I still got to finish mine.
You got to get them, of course.
But, you know what I'm saying?
But experience is the most important aspect, because I'd rather have someone that has a balance. Of course, you could do, the certificates and get all of those. But if you don't have experience, how do you really don't know? Yeah. Okay? Let's be honest here. It's almost like when we were growing up, they said, hey, you listen to your elders, because they personally experienced it.
Yeah. And I wanted to bring this up too. My wife, she's becoming a midwife, right? Yes. And we was talking about this the other day. It's like, she can't really become a midwife until she get a certain amount of births under her belt. And I'm like, you have like women's lives in your hands, basically. Yeah. Getting, catching their babies. Yeah. Right. And I was thinking, like, wow, like you cannot just get a degree and just expect to just go and and be catching babies. No, you have to get experience.
You have to.
And so when I think about that, I think about what we just talked about, how experience is the best teacher. So I just wanted to bring that up. Yeah. Because that really brought it full circle for me, because my experience is what helps me speak the way that I do. Exactly. And speak life into athletes in the way that I do. Because
life doesn't always go as planned.
Right.
Okay.
That's real.
Let's be real here. Life isn't scripted.
Nope.
Whereas, life is not scripted at all. Okay, whereas in the book and everybody has this. And then you got to realize, too, when you're going through academia, you're going off of someone else's. Think about it. Word, processing. You have to go through it yourself.
Whatever you had in your head, and this goes for everybody, whatever vision that you have that you're praying for, when you're a child of God, man, a lot of the times it's not what you think it is in your head, right? You could be praying for it and you may not be ready for it. Yep. And God puts things in your way to help you prepare and get ready for what you asked him for.
There you go. So there you go. Yeah. And that relates to football or sports.
Right.
You go out there and blow a knee out. You get caught in, now it's salary cap victim, whatever, and get forced out. Yeah. Didn't go as scripted as you thought, huh? Yeah. That's why you have to be prepared.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to play 10 years. This is what I want to do. And then next thing you know.
Oh, yeah?
You at year 5 and I'm ready to be done. I'm tired.
That's it. Or they like, no, they're not, like you said, they're not calling you back. Yep. I tell everyone, you have to have, as you're going into the league, you need to be thinking about how I'm getting out of the league.
Man, this has been crazy but great convo with you, man. Like, I just feel the ambiance in the room, it's cool. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, it's real.
But for you, let's talk about you. What are your goals for the rest of this year? Like, what do you want to accomplish?
You know what? I just want to keep, creating success stories for our clients. That I pride myself off of that. Their growth and their expansion. That's what motivates me. I'm at the stage now where, I call it, that's my legacy building. Mm-hmm. Okay, I build my legacy off of theirs.
Right.
So, I just I like to travel, me, I like to travel the world and all that. And that's another thing too. I want to pull more of my guys to really open not just their mind, but the way they live their lives.
Right.
And that, in regards to exploring other cultures, traveling, all that. I've already got a couple of guys hooked, Dominique Easley and all those guys, you can't keep them in the country, but I want to get more, including yourself. Yeah. But like I said, I just want to continue seeing that growth and transparency and just seeing you young men develop, man, and become real, I call you real pillars in society.
Is there anything that happened to you mental health wise that you can speak on to kind of like help somebody who may be listening to it? Is there anything you could think of that kind of was something that helped you become the man that you are today?
I'll use 2 traumatic experiences in my life.
Okay.
Losing my father a month after graduating high school. And my father was a very integral, successful aspect of my life. But like I said, life isn't scripted.
Yeah.
I never imagined my father dying.
Yeah.
Never. When it happened, I still didn't accept it for some time. But then when I did accept it, it just made me more, I became immune to the BS.
Yeah.
And people in the BS. And then having my mother die 10 years later.
Yeah.
That just solidified the way I look at not just life, people, everything. Yeah. It just made me realize, like, okay, you know what? Life is real short.
Yeah.
You really don't have time that you think you do.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have to really invest and utilize the time that you have to maximize it. Now, of course, you plan for the long term, but even for that, to get to the long term, you have to plan now.
Yeah.
And what I realized too is that upon their deaths, their legacies were left behind by the impact that they made as individuals.
Yeah.
See what I mean? And you guys could do that. You young men are in a unique position.
Yeah.
20, 25-year-olds given this platform. What are you going to do with it?
That's a great question. If we get the platform, can't fumble the bag. A lot of us, fumble the bag, but we have to use the platform as a pedestal.
You have to
get to our purpose, because we have to know the sport.
There you go.
That's not our purpose.
That's not your purpose.
10 years, if you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me not say lucky. If God allows.
If it happens.
Right.
Most cases it doesn't.
Right.
What is it typical now? 3 to 5 years?
Yes. I think it's more like 2.5.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And the thing, and this is the one thing that's disheartening to me is that now they're formulating all these other leagues and guys are still just trying to chase it.
Yeah.
Instead of chasing who they are.
I mean, they banging their head in. I understand. I get it. And I'm always support you. Always. Regardless. Always. But you can't pay me
to go back
$60,000 to bang my head in every day for just 3 months. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't do it. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm able to say that because
you're in a position.
Right. I found what my purpose was. Yeah. I found what I love to do.
Which is fine.
Right.
But I'm gonna always be that person. I'm gonna be devil's advocate.
Yeah.
How much longer you gonna be doing this?
Yeah.
Cool, you're doing it now. Okay, when it's up, what are we doing to set you up for the next 15, 20, 30? You can't be doing this.
Yeah. Let's
be honest here.
Yeah.
So I tell my guys all the time, you have to have balance when you're an athlete. You have to have people that, okay, agents and all that, they focus on football. But then you got to have these people over here that don't care about football.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay? I'm not even talking to you about football. Thank you. I'm worried about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yep.
Let them worry about Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
See what I mean? Because if you look at it, the athletes that have that balance are the successful ones. Not just on, and it helps on the field, but off the
field. They want people. That's how they talk, though. They want you to eat, sleep, breathe football.
That's the problem.
And if you having an interview, because I was interviewing with John Clark, right? Mm-hmm. And he said that most coaches or most GMs, they want to hear you say in an interview, like, I love this game. This is all I think about. This is all I want to do.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear you say, man, you know what? I had a great game, but you know what I did after? I talked to some kids, or I
they don't want to hear that.
Did art, or I was able to make some soundtracks. I learned how to edit. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to do these things. They don't want to hear you say that because to them, your mind is not focused on what it needs to be focused on. But then that creates a stuckness, I guess you would say. It's a place where we get stuck, and we're only focusing on that. And we don't know how to get out of that sometimes.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And that's where, unfortunately, me personally, I take what I do, I take what we do very personal, me and my team.
Yeah.
Because it's almost, to me, they feel like you're not mentally capable to do and focus on more than just one thing.
Yeah.
I could focus on football, but I can also focus on this.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, I take that offensive.
Yeah.
That's me personally. So my job, I'm trying to be like, no, he can do multiple things. No, I'm going to build confidence in you to crack you out of that, to let you know, yes, you can do this and still perform on the field. You know, Rodney McLeod, Emmanuel Acho, I go down the line, he's doing well.
Yeah.
During the off season, Rodney, he thinking about his fashion design. He thinking about change up. That's just one name. I mean, Chris Huff, all these guys, you know.
That's my boy.
Brandon Bolden. Brandon B. Bold been in the league 12 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they have personalities outside of the field.
Yeah.
Nourish and feed that, because it will actually help you. Right. I've had clients that, I'll just use Rodney again. When he was injured, the fact that he had other things going on helped him rebound even quicker. Yeah. Because he wasn't just sitting there moping, I got hurt. No, okay, he's out. Yeah. He's doing other things. He's not sitting at home crying.
Yeah. Because there is, now I want to say, there's a time and a place when stuff happens like that. You have to sit in it and, feel that, right? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times if you don't feel it, you're going to feel it at some point. You got to get it out.
You have to.
Feel it. When you get hurt, when you're dealing with depression, you're dealing with these things, make sure you feel it first. But when it's time to get out and go do some things, that's what you got to do, and that's what he did.
Yeah. I called it life endorphins.
Right.
The life endorphins helped him heal because he was able to, he got it out of his system. I gave him a week. I mean, I'll be honest with you, there were times where Rodney was hurt. He got the MRI earlier in the day, and we were out in the community that afternoon. But it helped him because that depression, it didn't let depression overcome him. And we all know your mental state affects your physical.
Yep.
So if you have other things to look forward to, it's going to help you bounce and rebound to get back on the field.
Yep. So, man, to conclude this dope interview of what we've been talking about, what we've been doing, this is probably the most relaxed I've been. Obviously, I've known you for a long time. Yeah. I feel like I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
So, for the viewers, for me too, because I want to know, what does success look like to you? Because I always talk about that.
Yeah, of course.
What does it look like to you in the near future?
Me personally, if I could go to sleep at night and not have a worry in the world and don't feel like I screwed anybody over, I owe anybody, I'm good. I'll be honest with you. I call it self-comfort. Like if I'm at peace with myself and I could sleep, I could go to bed at night, and because I'm big on morality. I'm big on karma. I'm huge on karma. And if I could go to sleep at night not realizing that, okay, I've done everything I can to be successful for myself, my affiliates, my clients, my family, and I didn't stab anyone in the back, I'm good. Because unfortunately, we do live in a society that's losing a lot of morality values. Yeah. And I'm not going down that path. Yeah. It's not worth it. I had to do it when I was in the music industry, and that was during my depressed state. Yeah. So it's not me as an individual.
Kids, athletes, adults, you reap what you sow.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
You do.
What goes around comes around.
Comes around.
You put greatness, good vibes, good energy out in the world, that's what's going to come back to you. And that's kind of what I heard you say when it comes to the success.
That's
you know
it.
What I'm saying?
That's it.
So I really appreciate you coming, man. This has been dope. This has been a dope interview, man. First of all, thank you once again.
Thanks for having me on.
Obviously, A&M Sports and Fitness, that's our sponsor.
Yep.
You know, me and my brother, we run this gym. And I really appreciate you coming and giving the people what they've been needing to hear. I feel like, you know, and the people that watch it, you know, they're, even if it's parents or whatever, you know, they'll think about it. Because some of these parents, they have these kids who are in college or they're in high school, but they're phenoms. They're big time. You got the NIL, you got all these things going on right now too. So it's good to start early, to get them into doing stuff early in the communities and things of that nature, because it'll travel with them as they get older and people will remember those things. So
their individual brand, not just your athlete brand. Your individual brand will actually help the athletic brand, but then also life after that.
Yeah, man. So, man, it's dope, man. I appreciate you
for
coming.
Man.
It's dope, man.
Always,
all right,
always.
Man.
You know that.
We are out, man. We out of here.
That's